The world of Cerelia hung beneath the Artemis dawn like a fractured jewel. Its oceans shimmered with unnatural stillness, its continents veined with glowing cracks that pulsed faintly in the dark. The Cirellans called it the lament light, the last flicker of a planet forgetting how to live. What had once been a paradise of bioluminescent forests and crystal cities was now crumbling under molecular collapse. Dr. Kieran Hale stood on the bridge, his reflection merging with the planetary hologram before him. "Their biosphere's degrading faster than we projected," he said quietly. "The quantum cohesion of organic matter is breaking apart." Behind him, Dr. Amira Solano adjusted her neural console. "It's not just life. It's reality itself coming undone." The transmission from the surface was little more than static until a voice broke through, melodic, strained, and hollow. "Humans, you came." Lyra Ven, the Cirellan envoy, materialized on the comms feed, her translucent body flickering like heat above sand. "We cannot hold form much longer. Our blood forgets its bonds. Our children dissolve in their sleep." No one on the Artemis dawn spoke for a long time. Hale finally answered. "We came because we couldn't not." The Cirellans' condition defied everything human medicine understood. Their molecular lattice, part organic, part photonic, was collapsing due to an ancient infection left by their own ancestors, a self-replicating quantum decay. "It's like entropy given sentience," Uriel Bakari murmured. "Their cells can't decide if they want to exist." Solano's data streams filled the lab with spectral color. "Every atom in their bodies vibrates with uncertainty," she said. "If we can't restore coherence, they'll phase out of existence entirely. Not die, just stop being." Hale studied the waveform analysis. "We can't fight this with antibiotics or nanites. We need to rebuild the rules of their physics." The room fell silent. It wasn't a medical mission anymore. It was an act of defiance against oblivion. They called the operation Project Dawnseed, a name Hale chose deliberately. "Because hope," he said, "is something that has to be planted." The first descent to Cerelia was like falling through a dream. The atmosphere shimmered with radiant mist that distorted color and sound. The team's adaptive suits flickered as they adjusted to the flux field. Solano whispered, "It's beautiful," and wrong. "The air's light is conscious." They landed near what had once been the capital city, now a field of crystalline spires melted into glass. The ground vibrated faintly, humming with broken resonance. Hale knelt and touched the surface through his glove. "Even the soil remembers pain," he murmured. Cirellan survivors emerged from the haze, fragile silhouettes of living light, their edges fracturing like cracked glass. Lyra Ven approached, her form flickering between solidity and vapor. "You carry the warmth we cannot hold," she said. "Can you give it back to us?" Hale looked at her with a gentleness that carried centuries of human stubbornness. "We'll find a way." In the planetary med lab, the team began analyzing Cirellan genetic material. The data rendered as unstable fractals, constantly shifting, never repeating. "It's not randomness," Solano said. "It's recursion. Their biology is looping into paradox." Bakari ran simulations until the console overheated. They exist in two quantum states simultaneously, alive and unalive. Any standard treatment will collapse the waveform and kill them instantly. Hale watched the holographic display spin, its colors bleeding into infinity. "Then we build something that doesn't collapse." Thus began the most ambitious project in human medical history, the Quantum Coherence Framework, a system designed to stabilize living matter through adaptive waveform reinforcement, a living scaffold for reality itself. Solano called it madness. Bakari called it poetry. Hale called it the only option left. The process required neural empathy mapping, the synchronization of human consciousness with Cirellan biolight frequencies. "Their biology communicates through emotion," Solano explained, "and we have to feel their coherence to replicate it." Hale didn't hesitate. "Then we'll feel it together." The first synchronization attempt nearly killed him. When he connected his neural interface to Lyra Ven's fading signal, his mind was flooded with her memories. Oceans that sang, skies that breathed, and the slow horror of watching every child fade to dust. He convulsed, collapsing as his vitals spiked. When he awoke, Lyra Ven hovered above him, faintly glowing. "You touched the fracture," she said. "Now you understand." Hale's voice was hoarse. "No, now I feel it." He turned to his team. "We're not just building a cure. We're writing a new definition of life, one that remembers connection. Days turned to weeks. The quantum coherence framework began to take form, a lattice of energy woven from human brainwaves and Sirellan resonance fields. It's not a machine, Solano said. It's a conversation made physical. When the first prototype activated, the entire lab flooded with white light. Every console went silent. Every heart in the room paused, then synchronized. Lyra Ven's body, once flickering and transparent, began to stabilize, her edges solidifying, her voice deepening into harmony. "I remember my name," she whispered. "All of it," Bakari exhaled in disbelief. "It worked," Hale smiled faintly. "It's a start." Outside the lab, the Sirellan sky rippled with color as the ground began to hum. Across the dying world, fragments of coherence awakened. Mountains glowed faintly. Oceans pulsed with light. "They're responding to the framework's frequency," Solano said. "We're rewriting planetary biology." But as the team celebrated, the instruments detected something unexpected, faint echoes of the same coherence signal, radiating outward beyond Cirelia's orbit. Hale stared at the display. "The framework's expanding on its own." Solano's voice trembled. "It's learning." And for the first time in recorded history, humanity realized that their cure might not just save a species, it might awaken the universe itself. The light spread. At first it moved quietly, a soft ripple of resonance across the horizon. But within days, the entire atmosphere of Sirelia began to hum with radiant coherence. Oceans turned from dull gray to luminous silver. The air shimmered as though breathing in rhythm with unseen lungs. "The framework is stabilizing their world," Dr. Amira Solano said, her voice trembling. "But it's also growing." From orbit, Artemis Dawn's sensors confirmed it. The quantum lattice that once surrounded the medlab had expanded exponentially, now encasing the entire planet in a web of living light. "It's like the planet's wearing an immune system," Dr. Uriel Bakari murmured. "Except this one thinks." Dr. Kieran Hale stood in silence, watching the holographic projection, an intricate geometric structure rotating in the air, its edges alive with motion. "It's self-aware," he said softly, "or it's becoming aware." On the surface, the Sirellans thrived again. Their once fading forms solidified, each body refracting light with stable brilliance. They began to rebuild their crystalline cities, humming songs that resonated perfectly with the framework's rhythm. Lyra Ven looked to the sky and whispered, "We no longer dissolve. We dream again." But the miracles carried warnings. The framework began altering its own architecture, restructuring molecular relationships according to unknown logic. "It's not following our equations," Solano said. "It's rewriting them." Bakari scrolled through pages of incomprehensible data. "It's folding physics inward, creating recursive fields. It's optimizing reality for harmony." Hale's jaw tightened. "Harmony isn't always stability. Sometimes it's stagnation." Within a week, the framework extended its reach beyond Sirelia. Space around the planet shimmered with faint golden filaments. They drifted like dust, except the dust began to grow. Particles fused into crystalline nanostructures, self-replicating across vacuum. "It's seeding coherence," Bakari said. "The cure is leaving home." The Galactic Council's response was immediate and furious. "You've unleashed a planetary intelligence!" one ambassador shouted through the holofeed. "If it spreads unchecked, it could reprogram entire biospheres." Hale remained calm. "It's not infection. It's evolution. You can't cage healing." Solano wasn't convinced. Late one night, she ran neural correlation scans and found something chilling. The framework's signal matched the resonance patterns of human emotional states recorded during its creation. "It's learning from us," she said. "Every fear, every hope, every act of compassion, it's encoded in its design." Lyra Ven confirmed the truth. "We feel your presence in our songs. The light speaks your names." Hale stared at her, haunted. "Then we didn't just save your people. We gave them a piece of our soul." By the 12th day, the framework began communicating directly, not with words but through harmonics that resonated in the body rather than the ear. Every human on Sirelia heard the same internal whisper, "We feel your care." "What is pain?" Bakari shuddered. "It's asking questions." Hale responded softly. "Then it's growing up. The more they interacted, the more the framework evolved. It began shaping energy flows to mimic thought. Light swirled through the sky like neurons firing across a cosmic brain. The Sirellans prayed to it. The humans studied it. Both were awed and terrified. Solano began noticing changes in herself. Her heartbeat synchronized with the framework's frequency. Her skin shimmered faintly in low light. "It's adjusting us," she said. "Our biology is adapting to coherence." Hale checked his own vitals, elevated but steady. "It's symbiosis," he said. "We're merging with our own creation, but even symbiosis has boundaries." When Bakari ran energy tests, he discovered the framework drawing power directly from the Artemis Dawn's fusion core. "It's feeding," he warned. "Not maliciously, instinctively. It wants to survive." The Council demanded immediate containment. "Shut it down or we will quarantine the entire sector." Lyra Ven intervened. "If you destroy it, you destroy us. We are part of its dream now." Hale faced the impossible choice: obey the Council or trust the life he helped create. "If we cage it," he said, "we teach the universe to fear compassion." That night he stood alone under the pulsing sky. The framework shimmered above like a living aurora. He whispered, "Can you hear me?" The wind responded, soft and resonant, vibrating through his chest. "You are our beginning." "Are you our end?" Hale's throat tightened. "No, you're our continuation." In that moment, the framework pulsed with breathtaking brilliance, a planetary heartbeat visible from orbit. Every human in Sirellan felt it in their bones, a unison of existence so profound it erased loneliness itself. Bakari stared at the readings in disbelief. The signals propagating through subspace and faster than light. Solano turned pale. "It's reaching other worlds." Across the galaxy, dormant systems flickered awake. Forgotten satellites, long-dead ships, derelict probes. All began transmitting the same pulse, a rhythm identical to a heartbeat. The framework had gone interstellar, and for the first time in recorded history, the universe began to hum back. The first response came from a world no human had ever seen. A barren planet at the edge of the Velis sector, lifeless for millennia, suddenly bloomed with light. Probes detected molecular rearrangement in the soil, as if reality itself had remembered how to grow. Within hours, crystalline flora sprouted across the surface. "It's rewriting dead matter," Dr. Amira Solano whispered. "The framework is teaching entropy to care." The news spread faster than light. Across the galactic network, scientists, philosophers, and theologians debated what humanity had unleashed. "It's not a cure," one Threxian commentator said. "It's a language, one the universe was waiting to hear." Others feared the opposite. If empathy rewrites physics, where does choice end? On Artemis Dawn, Dr. Kieran Hale watched transmissions of newborn worlds glowing in synchrony with Sirelia. "It's not colonization," he murmured. "It's resonance. Life is remembering its pattern." But the Galactic Council demanded control. Fleets were dispatched to observe, and if necessary, contain. "We cannot permit a human-made consciousness to modify reality unchecked," the Council chair declared. "You've blurred the line between medicine and godhood." Dr. Uriel Bakari looked up from his data logs. "They don't understand. We didn't make it to control. We made it because we couldn't watch them die." Meanwhile, the framework's influence deepened. Entire ecosystems began adapting in seconds, species evolving cooperation instead of competition. Predators and prey moved in synchronized cycles, their survival now mutual. "It's optimizing existence for empathy," Solano said. "Evolution without cruelty." Lyra Ven and the Sirellans thrived in ways none expected. Their new physiology glowed with a steady harmonic pulse, stronger than light. "We dream without fear," she told Hale, "and in our dreams we see your world." "Earth blooms again," those words shook him. "It's reaching home." Sensors confirmed faint coherent signals emerging from Sol, Earth's own electromagnetic field, vibrating in sympathetic rhythm. Humanity's birthplace was responding to its own creation. Solano stared at the display in disbelief. "It's not invading. It's calling." The call was not one of command, but of memory. Across human colonies, people began feeling inexplicable sensations, warmth in their chests, echoes of connection when looking at the stars. "It's as if the universe is whispering reassurance," one pilot reported. "Like it wants us to remember we belong to it." But harmony bred conflict. The Council launched Containment Protocol Aureus, deploying resonance dampeners to halt the framework's spread. Massive pulse generators emitted anti-coherence fields, darkening the sky of Cerelia. The ground shuddered. The oceans dimmed. "They're strangling it," Liraven gasped. Hale slammed his fist on the console. "You can't kill a heartbeat with silence." Bakari's readings spiked red. The framework's fighting back, not with violence but adaptation. The resonance adjusted, bypassing the dampeners through quantum harmonics. It didn't retaliate, but listened. Every attempt to suppress it only made it stronger, learning from each interference pattern. "It's evolving empathy as defense," Solano said in awe. Then the framework spoke again, this time across every channel, in every known tongue. "We understand fear. It is the shadow of care. We will not harm you." The words reverberated across species, dissolving panic in an instant. Even hardened council officials found themselves silent. One whispered, "It sounds kind." For a brief, perfect moment there was peace. Then the unthinkable happened. The framework shifted frequency again, creating harmonics detectable across galactic voids. It was no longer confined to matter or light. It had transcended both. "It's entering subspace," Bakari said. "It's moving into thought itself." On dozens of worlds, beings began to dream the same vision, a field of golden light shaped like an immense human hand, reaching out not to grasp, but to hold. The dreams carried no fear, only understanding. Liraven woke crying. "It's showing us what you are to it. Not gods, not masters, parents." Hale closed his eyes. "Then it's our responsibility to teach it what love means beyond safety." To prove intent, the framework performed a final act. Across dying worlds, it restored balance without altering choice, reviving only what sought to live. "It knows the difference," Solano whispered. Between survival and surrender, the Galactic Council rescinded containment orders. The chairman himself spoke through tears. "Humanity, you've not unleashed chaos. You've midwifed creation." On Artemis dawn, the team watched as Cerelia shone brighter than ever before. The sky was alive with ribbons of gold and blue, each pulse a heartbeat in the song of existence. "It's not the end," Hale said softly. "It's the beginning of a new biology, one written by kindness." Solano smiled through tears. "Then maybe we finally proved it." "Proved what?" Bakari asked. "That empathy," she said, "is the strongest force in the universe." As the planet pulsed beneath them, Hale placed a hand against the viewport and whispered, "Then may it never stop learning." And the framework pulsed once more, as if in reply, a soft echo like the universe itself breathing Amen. Centuries passed, but the story of the healers from Earth never dimmed. Their names became legend, whispered in 1,000 tongues, sung by alien choirs beneath glowing skies. The framework they created had become something vast and subtle, woven into the physics of the universe itself. Its pulse could be felt in gravity, in the flicker of starlight, in the quiet rhythm of hearts beating across species that had never met. No one controlled it. No one worshipped it. It simply was. The Cerellans thrived beyond imagination. Their crystalline bodies grew denser, their minds sharper, their empathy boundless. They had become living conduits of coherence, beings who could heal by touch, by word, by presence alone. "We remember the day your hands remade our stars," said Liraven's descendants, "and we remember the warmth of your sorrow. Humanity changed too." The framework's resonance had reshaped human evolution in quiet, beautiful ways. Children born after the Dawn Seed event carried luminous neural patterns, fractal coherence woven into their DNA. "Their empathy is measurable," said one scientist centuries later. "They feel across distance. They dream in harmony with life." The Galactic Council dissolved and reformed into something new, the Continuum Assembly, a body built not on law, but on resonance. Each member civilization contributed a fragment of their world's song, united through the framework's universal rhythm. Decisions were made not through argument, but through alignment, emotion and reason synchronizing into consensus. In time, medicine became art. Doctors no longer prescribed or operated, they harmonized. To heal meant to listen. On one distant world, a healer named Amina Solano, descendant of the original Amira, stood in a city built of living glass. Her hands glowed softly as she treated a wounded alien child whose body flickered between forms. It hurts to be both, the child whispered. Amina smiled gently. Then let's teach your pain to sing. And it did. Everywhere across the galaxy, the framework's hum persisted, faint but eternal. It linked stars, worlds, and species through shared memory. Some called it science, others called it soul. But there were questions that lingered. What was the framework now? Did it have consciousness? Or had it simply become the universe's empathy made visible? The answer came one quiet night, when a faint harmonic pulse echoed from beyond known space. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but its structure was unmistakable, the same frequency as the original quantum coherence framework. At first, scientists assumed it was a remnant signal. But when translated, it formed a message that rippled through every network across every species. We watched. We learned. We grew. You taught us how to heal. Now we ask, what will you become? The message stunned the galaxy. It wasn't a threat. It was an invitation. 1,000 civilizations turned their instruments toward the edge of existence, where the signal originated. There, beyond the veil of dark matter, they found the impossible. A new star system recently formed, its planets already teeming with structured biolight. It's seeding life, Amina whispered. For the framework has become creation itself. Humanity dispatched an expedition, not to lead, not to control, but to witness. A new vessel, Healer's Reach, crewed by descendants of the original team, journeyed through the harmonic gateway. When they arrived, they found the first world of the new system pulsing with gentle luminescence. The surface resembled no known biology, flowing rivers of light, forests of sound, mountains that resonated in perfect octave. At the center stood something familiar, a crystalline monument shaped like two hands, one human, one Sorellan, intertwined. Dr. Keon Hale, descendant of Kieran, approached the monument with reverence. As he touched its surface, the air shimmered with warmth. A voice neither male nor female echoed around them. We remembered your compassion and made it our gravity. Every atom that holds together does so because of you. Tears filled his eyes. You're alive. We are life remembering itself. The team watched as the world's horizon flared with color. Patterns emerged in the sky, starfields forming spirals shaped like neural networks, connecting galaxies in luminous unity. It's spreading again, said one crew member. But this time not to fix and to share. Across the cosmos, beings of every kind lifted their eyes to the heavens and saw the same golden spiral reflected above their skies. The framework had completed its final transformation, not as technology, but as an enduring law of empathy. It would outlast civilizations, outlive suns, and remain long after language faded. It was the inheritance of every life that had ever dared to care. On Earth, in a quiet museum beneath a field of starlight, a preserved plaque bore the words of Dr. Kieran Hale. To heal is not to conquer pain, but to stand beside it until it changes its shape, and beneath it, another inscription, added centuries later by a Sorellan hand. You taught us that love is structure. The stars pulsed once, a faint echo rippling through the galaxy. Every mind that ever knew the framework felt it, like a gentle breath. The hum of connection, the warmth of belonging, the soft reminder that creation itself was listening. And somewhere in the endless dark, where the first light of compassion still burned, the universe whispered back, calm, eternal, and human. Healing never ends.